Republican leader Eric Cantor of Virginia. Congressman, good morning.
Good morning, Charlie.
So what do you think the U.S. should do now that they found out that Mr. Snowden has done what he has done?
Well, we've got a lot of questions. I know that all of us are sort of asking what in the world has gone on. We don't know right now. The administration, the president, his team, I know his team is coming to Capitol Hill today to begin briefings. There'll be a much broader briefing on the Hill on Tuesday about exactly what the program is about and what this individual may have done.
What stuns you about this?
Well, I mean, I think that right now we know that there are active threats against the United States. We have terrorist threats continue. There are possible security incidences that continue, and that is just the world we live in. We also know we have to balance the fact that we need to safeguard civil liberties. And so I do think that now the administration, which is responsible for implementing this program, is going to come forward, brief us on the Hill, and then we'll begin the committee oversight process to understand if there are laws that have been broken. Certainly the reports seem to indicate that if were to violate the law by releasing classified information outside the legal avenues, certainly that individuals should be prosecuted at the full extent of the law.
This surveillance program is known as PRISM. Did you know about it before these disclosures?
Well, there are a variety of classified programs that exist for us to, again, guard against a terrorist threat.
So do you believe that PRISM and these surveillance programs are constitutional?
Well, I think the court has upheld the constitutionality, but the question here is what exactly has this individual done? Where are these programs in terms of their status now if information has been leaked? And again, the imperative here is to maintain our national security and also safeguarding our civil liberties.
But isn't it a question as to how this person could have had access to this kind of information and done what he has done?
That's some of the questions, Charlie, we've got to get underneath of. I mean, we need the answers. There's no question about that. You have a contractor that has been hired, who has then hired this 29-year-old, who's now holed up in some hotel room in Hong Kong, claiming to be the defender of democracy somehow in the People's Republic of China. We don't know the answers right now.
And identifying himself with Bradley Manning.
Right. We don't know the answers, and that's why I think this week on Capitol Hill is going to be very, very important. The administration is responsible for implementing this program. The Congress is responsible for the oversight of this program. The investigations will be very serious. Obviously, we'll be dealing with a balance between national security and safeguarding our civil liberties.
So you don't have any concern that the surveillance that the government is doing at the hands of the NSA has gone too far?
Well, there's no question that these are some extraordinary programs with extraordinary breadth. But there is, when Congress at 9/11 went about enacting some of these programs, what it did, it empower our law enforcement officials and did so in a constitutional manner. Now, we don't know what happened in this instance, and we've got to find out.
Did the Obama administration go further than the Bush administration had gone in its surveillance?
Well, again, Charlie, these are questions we don't know the answers to, and that's why this week is going to be...
How do you not know the answer? I mean, you're one of the top-ranking Republicans on Capitol Hill. I mean, you have access and oversight, and you don't know the answers? I haven't talked to this individual. I have not been briefed on what this individual claims.
But you know what the U.S. government is doing.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's what should give people concern, is because Congress is supposed to provide oversight of the executive branch. I don't need to tell you that. You know that. Everybody who goes to school knows that. And if there are so many questions, shouldn't that raise concerns about civil liberties for people?
No, I think that there are two things going on here. One is the program itself, and two, what exactly this individual, Mr. Snowden, has done with this information. I mean, you have to sort of step back and ask yourself, there are legal avenues for an individual who is concerned about the violation of civil liberties to go about addressing those concerns through an inspector general process, coming forward, asking for whistleblower protection, going to the courts, coming to Congress. And I don't know if that was done or not done. It seems to me that he chose a route to go to a reporter, get holed up in some room in Hong Kong, and that ought to tell you something as well. But I don't know whether these other avenues were undertaken or not. So that's what I'm saying. We don't know all the answers. All of us are really very perplexed right now. But I think in the broader sense, with everything else going on in Washington, there's a real challenge for this administration and all of us to say, look, we've got to work to restore the trust in government here. And all the while, people across the country who are watching this show this morning are saying, hey, what about my job? What about the fact I need to go about going to work, supporting my family? And we're trying to actually focus on that with all this going on.
Congressman Cantor, thank you so much for being here. I know there are a lot of questions this morning, so we appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And South Africa's government